Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to race number 10 of the second season of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, powered by the WRA. After today, we have three more race weekends: New Hampshire, Dover, and the wrap up of the first half of the regular season at beautiful um, Darlington Raceway, which that will be a very interesting race weekend today. So, we're going to see what happens here this weekend as these drivers get ready for 84 laps in the Samsung Radio Shack 500, getting ready for what will be a very interesting race weekend to cap off for these drivers. On the pole position is Hannah Bluejay in the number 48 machine. Hannah Bluejay comes into this race, as I need to go back to the deal. Hannah Bluejay comes in this race 10th in the points table coming in this race. She is alongside of Shyla Askarov, who's been doing a lot of racing. She's looking to redeem herself from a not so good first start of her Winston Cup career. She's currently on that number in points. I suspect that will probably change after today. Eric Alpha in row number 2. Eric is making his second start, looking to build off a good result from his first race. And Todd Montgomery in the 77 comes into this race 17th in the points table. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup for today's race, let's get these cars moving out on the track. We're going to go over to your points table presented by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. Here are the points. Annie Thomas is the points leader by 14 points over Vanco Seaman. 24 points over Ashley Reynolds, last week's winner at Pocono. Maddie Crenshaw, fourth in the standings, going to be starting last. Betty Johnson, she is up to fifth in the standings, tied with Margaret Jacobs. However, the catch is Betty Johnson's been the victory lane. Margaret Jacobs has not. Jessica Miller lost the points lead after Pocono last week. She fell all the way down to seventh in the standings. Annie Crenshaw dropped all the way down to eighth in the standings, 37 and 45 points back respectively. Tatum Wright, 46, back in ninth. And 10th is Hannah Bluejay, 47 points out of the points lead. We've only had two cautions out of the two races we've ran this weekend. With a long race, 84 laps to be exact, will that be a different story for the Cup drivers? We're going to have to see about that. Which I actually need to do this. Hold on, give me 1 second. That was not what I asked you to do, you derping hyena. As the green flag is out, we're underway here at Texas. Sorry about that. I had to take care of something real quickly. Never thought I would have to get all three races done in one day, and that's exactly what I'm doing as of this recording. I was supposed to have this race weekend done last week as of this recording, but because my laptop forced me to do three races in one day, there you go. Shyla Askarov will lead the first lap. That's her first ever lap led here in the Winston Cup Series. Eric Alpha in second. Quiet run for Shyla Askarov this race weekend. There's Eric Alpha in second. Both of these drivers making their second start. Monica Towns looking the inside of Eric Alpha. Monica Towns comes into this race 27th in the points table. Let's talk about our former winners here at Texas, or our former winner, I should say. We raced this racetrack one season ago. It was the next to last race of the regular season. And the defending winner of this race is actually in this field. Brad Lewis, who went to victory lane last season, punched his ticket into the playoffs last season, got eliminated after, I think, round 1. J Harvick has moved up into the 4th position in that number 18 machine. J Harvick comes in this race 15th in the points, dropped 7 spots after last week's race at Pocono. There's Vanko Seaman in the 15 machine. Vanko comes into this race situated, if I can find the 15 on here. He was 2nd in points. He's the guy that's trying to run down Annie Thomas for the points lead. 2nd race for Annie Thomas and Audi. They made their debut last week at Pocono. Two race weekends in a row I've had issues, but for different reasons. Last week we had issues getting the Cup race out because my laptop was being a derping hyena. This week my recording software screwed me over. Let's hope that's not a problem next week when we go to Loudon, for goodness sakes. As we're looking at Azara Mirmoez, who just raced her way into this event. Michael Anderson back here at the rear of the field. Same with Samantha Grainger. Ashley Reynolds, last week's winner. J TwoTwo, Ashley Horton. Drake Robertson, the 22. His 2nd race with Bill Davis Racing. Remember, Betty Johnson and Drake Robertson swapped rides after Martinsville. But they stayed in the Cup Series, so there you go. And then there's Jessica Miller. Yeah, I will make sure after this race is over, I will make sure all of these paint schemes get alternated, because I've done a lousy job of doing that. But then again, I haven't recorded in 8 days as of this recording. So it's like been 8 days since I've done any paint scheme swaps and all that. After today, after this race is done, I will finally make sure these paint schemes get swapped. As we're looking at Betty Barrett, our winner from Rockingham. She's in that critical 35th in the standings. The good news for her, the guy that was trying to run her down for 35th in the standings, Carlos Rodriguez, failed to qualify for this race. So Betty Barrett trying to extend her gap between herself. It is 33 points between Betty Barrett and 36th. There's Nathan Ormond running in 18th. We talked about Courtney Lynn, who won the Busch race yesterday. Nathan Ormond. Ormy is 19th in the points. Should I also point this out? He's the rookie points leader coming into this race. He has an 11-point lead over the gal that's trying to run him down for the points lead. That would be Liliana Beta, Las Vegas winner. You just saw Senor Sean. This is his home race. He's the only Texan in the field, since CJ Bracken and Jesse Art both failed to qualify for this race. And the part-timers having a fun battle. Eric Alpha. We've seen these two drivers in the Red Bull GT Series last season. Eric Alpha and Shyla Asgroff. As I'm recording this, I haven't heard if Eric Alpha is going to be back in the Red Bull GT Series as I'm recording this race. Shyla Asgroff, we know, is coming back. Both of these drivers had good rookie campaigns over in the Red Bull GT Series. And of course, Shyla Askarov looking for her first win on the season in Season 2 over in the Craftsman Truck Series. Of course, she's driving the 2 truck, replacing the now banned Jared Underhill. As there's Monica Towns in the 19 machine. Monica, ever since leaving Indiana Motorsports, she's really enjoying, having Ricky Cervantes as her team owner. Of course, we saw Ricky Cervantes in yesterday's Busch Series race as Eric Alpha will get a lap led. That's Eric's first lap he's led in the Winston Cup Series, and now here comes the pitch black Mountain Dew Dodge of Monica Towns coming in the inside of the Jana King Dodge. Monica Towns won her only championship with Indiana Motorsports in 2023 in the Buffalo Wild Wings Series. Her only championship she has won to date. And she's been in the Cup Series ever since winning the Buffalo Wild Wings Series championship. So Monica knows how to win a championship, just like Annie Thomas knows how to win a championship. Vanko Seaman, hold on, let me make sure I didn't derp. Not Vanko Seaman, excuse me, Ponzo Albanus. This is what happens, when I didn't go to bed till 7 this morning, my time, as of today, I'm recording this race on October 16th. And B, this is what happens when I've been up for almost 2 hours, because I didn't get up till like after 2. But getting back to Monica Towns, I've seen a lot of people, didn't like the playoff system of the win and you're in. You think about Monica Towns here for a second, and this is something we talked about with Ingrid Pollard, and you can definitely say J TwoTwo is a worthy champion because, yes, he won 6 races, as that was not the driver I wanted, you darping game. I was trying to go to the 48, made me go to the 1 car for some reason. But you think about Monica Towns. 1 win, stayed consistent. And it goes back to what I was talking about last season. Like, it doesn't matter if you have 1 win. It doesn't matter if you have 5. It doesn't matter if you have 10 wins. If you're not in the top 30, yada, 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 which I think you all get what I mean. Monica Towns had the best average finish and won the championship. To say Monica Towns winning a Buffalo Wild Wings Series championship while winning only 1 race is a bit of an understatement. It's like Lucky Prescott, who missed, I think, 2 races, I want to say, somehow won Rookie of the Year honors. And she was part-time. Beat a full-time rookie driver, which I don't think anyone in this paddock expected that. Despite the fact Lucky Prescott did not find victory lane that season, but that's besides the point. When you look at Ricky Cervantes and Marco Diaz, how they won championships, they got to victory lane quickly. They really did a good job staying consistent. And I'm not saying Monica won that championship. And I know some people in the NASCAR community is like, well, that was a Mickey Mouse championship. No, Monica Towns was actually a deserving champion, and I can tell you why. She's, before, this season switching over to Ricky Cervantes, she's been with Indiana Motorsports since the very beginning, which was all the way to the end of last season. And nobody even expected Monica Towns to go out there and win a championship in the final season of the Buffalo Wild Wings Series. Just like nobody expected J TwoTwo, who, by the way, had the most wins out of anyone, and he still won the championship. And you look at this season with Monica Towns winning the Clash. That's the only highlight out of Monica Towns' season. Won the Clash at the beginning of the year, which nobody expected that before the season began. And remember, we didn't even know if Monica Towns was going to be even racing this season. Keep that in mind. So for Monica Towns to get a team owner in Ricky Cervantes, go out there, win the Clash, prove to everybody that she still has a chance to win a championship here in the Winston Cup Series, as Hannah Bluejay is going for the race lead. Which I should also mention, I know there's going to be a lot of comments. Why does Hannah Bluejay not have an R next to her name? She actually has previous Cup experience, so there's no reason for her to have an R next to her name. Yes, even though she's like in her first year. Remember, she changed her name from... Well, actually, not changed her name, of course. She's been in that 48. I think she took part in a Cup Series. That's why she's not eligible for the Rookie of the Year honors. Of course, I know Hannah Smith's going to be getting a ride soon to get in the All-Star race. I think it'll be in the 97. That All-Star 90. Well, actually, no. I don't know what ride she'll be in for the All-Star race. We'll have to wait and see about that, because also I need to also start getting some more cars onto my game, because for anyone who's not aware, because we're getting closer and closer to All-Star race weekend, drivers that have been to victory lane from last season that are not back for this season will need rides in the All-Star race. The only exception to that is that I'm not going to have Zachary Taylor in the All-Star race after the shenanigans he pulled. And that was by Cody Smart's request. So Zachary Taylor will not be in the All-Star race, even though he went to victory lane last season. And looking at, which brings me to my next point I'm getting ready to talk about. Then again, the only driver who needs to be in the All-Star race, actually I need to change something real quickly while this race is going on. Of course, Hannah Smith, we know, will need a ride for the All-Star race. Jared Johnson will also need a ride for the All-Star race because he's the defending winner of the All-Star race. So we'll see what ride I can get him for that race. Possibly could be in the 24, because that car has been failing to qualify left and right like a candy store. That has happened. Well, I don't know what the flip I'm talking about, because that 24 has been DNQing like a piece of candy. There's Hannah Bluejay. So we pull up the running order. I know that all three of the RCR drivers are locked in the All-Star race, the three full-time RCR drivers. Simon Oskin will be the only RCR driver who will have to qualify his way in the All-Star race. The good thing about the All-Star race is that there's going to be two groups. Because, like I said, we have 75 drivers in this series. Out of the 75, those who have rides, 17 of them are in the All-Star race. Reynolds, Erickson, Ben Erickson to be more specific, Joseph, Tennyson, Harvick, Annie Crenshaw, just to clarify which Crenshaw I'm talking about, Bouvier, Lewis, Barrett, Cooper. Cooper is another driver who needs to get a ride for the All-Star race. Cadet, Horton, Chloe Erickson, Beta, Seaman, Johnson, Turner. I also need to see. Oh, actually, I don't. So those are the only drivers locked in the All Star race, the 19. And of course, Melissa Cooper is not racing anywhere, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if Cooper gets like a one race deal. But then again, like I said, we'll have to see what I can do because I'm going to make sure the drivers who are locked in the All Star race, as Eric Alpha just moved Hannah Bluejay up the track up in no man's land. That's going to allow Monica Towns to take the lead. And that's also going to bring Cody Smart and Shyla Ascroft with them. I think the 75 just got on the inside of the 48, ran up the track, got loose, got up into no man's land. Thankfully, those two didn't take each other out as far as a wreck is concerned. That's kind of a racing deal, if you ask me, as we look at the back of the field. Speaking of Annie Crenshaw, not having the day she would have liked. Back here in last. And remember, she started on the final row of the grid with her sister, Maddie Crenshaw. There's Michael Anderson back here at the rear of the field. Kevin Joseph's back here. Jay Green, who's one of the drivers that was trying to run down Nathan Werman back here at the rear of the field. Betty Johnson, fifth in points back here. But remember, these drivers have not pitted yet, so I wouldn't be surprised about that. There's Tatum Wright, Timmy Turner. He'll be in the All-Star race this season. Azara Mirmoez. Going by, that's Brady Columbus in the 59. Drake Robertson in the 22. We're nearing the midway point of the race. Oh, by the way, there's Jessica Miller, Riley Anderson. There's last season's winner, Brad Lewis. And you want to know who his crew chief is? Zachary Fitzwater. As we're now at the midway point of this race, there's the defending series champion, Ponzo Albanus. As I hit the wrong button, I was trying to go to the points and maybe go to the time deal, which I didn't want the time deal. Ponzo 22nd in points, still looking for his first win on the year. Of course, we're already past the 1/4 mark of the season. Then Tennyson, of course, he won last season when he was driving a Pontiac. Of course, he's driving the same team, but he's driving a Chevrolet and not a Pontiac. There's last week's winner, Ashley Reynolds in the 88. Jerry Harvick. These two are in the All-Star race. Senor Sean running in 23rd. Sean has only had one carnage. That was in the truck race with Luis Hernandez. Didn't have a yellow in the Busch race, so there was no wrecking in the Busch race. And he was hoping to have carnage here in the Cup race. So far, so good. It hasn't happened. Well, I almost jinxed it. Almost got together with that's Bouvier in the 99, still running the Pennzoil colors this week. There's Liliana Beta. There's the points leader, Annie Thomas, running in 19th. Remember, this is her second race with Audi. Her team owner, Daniel Voiles, did not qualify for the race, which would be yours truly. At least I got to stay at the track to call the race. Ashley Horton in the 10, Maddie Crenshaw in the 21. Barrett going by, that's Ashlyn Wright, excuse me. Ashlyn's having a quiet run, running in the 16th position. She dropped a spot down to 29th in the points, but she's got a nice little cushion between herself and the cut line as far as 35th is concerned. There's Lucy Myers right behind Sydney Vortex. I believe this is Sydney Vortex's debut. No, it's not. It's her second race. Todd Montgomery right behind Margaret Jacobs. Margaret's yet to go to victory lane, believe it or not. Quinton Moore ran the Busch race yesterday, running in 10th right now here in the Cup race. Max Anderson making another start here in the Cup Series. Max is making his second start. He got a top 5 in his debut race. There's Elena Aurora in the 31. Haven't talked much about Elena, the Spaniard, the only Spaniard we have in this series. Elena Aurora comes into this race 30th in the points table. She is 30 points above the 35th in the standings cut line. It was announced Elena Aurora will not take part in the Season 5 Red Bull GT Series, even though I did say she was going to come back. I think she's still trying to recover from her concussion situation that she had at April, but she is medically cleared to race. But, I think she's still not fully 100% ready to run the Red Bull GT Series, so there will be a new driver in the 13 in Elena Aurora's place. Is the caution out? No. Okay, I was just seeing things. I thought the yellow was out for some reason. I thought the caution was out for a second. That's why I checked the pace car, but I was just seeing things. But anyway, we're told, I believe Helga Gunnarsson is going to take over the 13 for Season 5 of the Red Bull GT Series, just to give Elena Aurora a chance to recover, rest, and all that, yada, yada, yada. Because Elena Aurora is supposed to be supposed to run her third season, but I think DVR World NOS Racing want to make sure she's fully healthy, so that's why she's going to sit out of the Red Bull GT Series season, which is completely understandable. I think you know what DVR and World NOS Racing are doing together as we're looking at Shyla Ascroft. I've been really impressed with this rookie driver this weekend. Almost did something that has never happened before, qualifying on the front row. Almost got the pole for this race yesterday in pole day qualifying. Started on the pole for the Busch race. Had a quiet run. Having a quiet run here in the Cup race. Started second, currently running second. And this is her second start of the year. Oh, by the way. That's still pretty good for the Kyrgyzstan driver. As we have international flavor up here at the front. H Bluejay from Toronto. I think Hannah actually changed her name from Smith to Bluejay. Which she wanted me to tell you all that, just an FYI. So it's the same name except it's Bluejay and not Smith. So I will actually need to go ahead and... Or actually, no. We'll just leave it at that. So, of course, Hannah Smith will need a ride for the All-Star race. But if H Bluejay goes to victory lane, it will be her first win of her Winston Cup career. And it'll be the 48th first win of season 2. There's Shyla running in second. We already talked about that. Eric Alpha, Monica Towns, Cody Smart in his last Texas race. Lena Aurora, Vanko Seaman, Max Anderson is now 8th. 9th is Todd Montgomery, Sydney Vortex back in the 10th position. And I think we're having pit stops, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we are. Matty Crenshaw came to pit road. Yep, green flag pit stops on lap 58, 57, 58, 59. These drivers coming to pit road knowing they cannot go, well, they could not make it 84 laps. That was a tongue twister. As the Lowe's Chevrolet comes to pit road. And Hannah Bluejay, careful, don't want to get a pit road collision. Failed the man. I was getting ready to get. I'm going to get a little concerned here. Get on the pit road safely. Get on the pit road safely. Okay, there you go, Hannah. I thought she was going to get ready to cause a collision. I think the 99's been hit. Yeah, 99's been hit. There's right side damage on Bouvier's car. Yep, there's a little ding. She got together with somebody. I don't know who it was. That's really going to kill the right side of the Pennzoil Ford. Annie Thomas just came off the pit road. Don't really know who's going to be the leader when this is all said and done. It says the 92 is third, but she's coming off the pit road. So I don't know who will have the race lead. So I don't know who the 99 made contact with, but whatever the case, that's a tough break. 22. Oh, we got a wreck. Wreck on the front straightaway. The caution is out. Just as we got done with green flag pit stops, the caution is out. I think it might have been Annie Crenshaw, the reason for the yellow. I think she's got damage to the left side of her Dodge. And they're saying Shyla Askarov is the leader. And she is. Well, unlike the truck race where it happened in the middle of green flag pit stops, this happened after green flag pit stops. But the caution is out, our first of the day. Let's jump back and look at a replay to find out what happened as we are coming towards 20 to go here in Texas. Before we look at the replay, we want to go ahead and look at why Bouvier got right side damage on her machine. Watch the 92 of Sydney Vortex. Right there. So it looks like Sydney's going to have some left front damage on her Chevrolet. And that's where the right side damage came from on the Pennzoil Ford. It was Sydney Vortex who was coming in. Bouvier was coming out. So I'm going to have to put the blame on the crew chief of the 99 there. Especially when you have a lot of cars coming down pit road. You have to wait until the 92 gets into her stall. But miscommunication there. So that's what happened to the 99. Now let's see what brought out the first caution of the day here at Texas. Well, this is a case of drivers trying to get back up to speed. Watch the 19 of Monica Towns. Yeah, Annie Crenshaw was definitely not clear. And just gets in the wall. Well, there's where the damage comes from, was from the 19. And these two are teammates over at Ricky Cervantes, so I really don't know what that was all about, as Monica Towns is going through the grass doing some landscaping. But that's what brought out the first caution of the race. You have drivers that are trying to get back up to speed versus drivers who are already up to speed after making their pit stops. And thankfully, unlike the truck race on Friday, it didn't screw a number of people. But that's not what Annie Crenshaw needed. And she was running well in the points as we're going to head to the restart here at Texas. We're going to head back to green here at Texas. Looks like it did trap a couple of drivers a lap down, but it could have been so much worse. in the process, as Annie Crenshaw did get the damage repaired. Shyla is now the leader. Hannah Bluejay in second. Third is Eric Alpha. Monica Towns fourth. Elena Aurora is fifth. Vanko Seaman is sixth. Seventh is Cody Smart. Quentin Moore eighth. Ninth, Lucy Myers. And 10th is Sydney Vortex. We'll have to see how the damage is going to affect her as far as that's concerned. A couple of drivers, I think, came back to pit road. Unfortunately for some of them, they got trapped a lap down. Drake Robertson is 2 laps down. So it looks like he was involved in whatever happened on pit road. And it's a tough break for a couple of drivers who really did not need this. We're going to head back to green. Thankfully, only 4 drivers got trapped the lap down, unlike we had a number of drivers, like 6 to be exact, that were put on the tail end of the lead lap in the truck race on Friday. So we had a different scenario there. But once again, it happened after green flag pit stops versus the truck race. It happened during pit stops. We're back to green here at Texas. But Monica came down pit road to repair some damage on the 19. Well, she's running in 4th, so I'd be a bit concerned if she didn't come to pit road to fix that tire rub. But it looks like Annie Crenshaw is off the pace, I believe. Yes, she is. Boy, Annie Crenshaw did not need this. I believe Sydney Vortex, the damage is really hurting her car. Because she's really... Actually, it's not. We'll be also hitting that number very soon. Monica Town's going to drop back. I wonder if that tire rub is starting to affect her race car. Jerry Harvick and Drake Robertson are ahead of the leader, which is now Elena Aurora. Funny, these two are teammates in GTS Array, Aurora and Askarov. Aurora in her 30s. Shyla Askarov just celebrated her 19th birthday yesterday. I want to say happy birthday to her. Of course, we had a lot of cake. And we also had our 3 friends, Elmo, Elmer, and Kermit also with us, which I got hit with a baseball bat by Sean. There's Vanko Seaman, of course, they were also part of GTS Array. Jerry Harvick right now having a good run. Hannah Bluejay. She was the leader when we had the pit stops. Of course, Elena Aurora is already locked into the All-Star race. Same with Vanko Seaman, because they both won last season. And both are looking for their first win of the season. Actually, Vanko Seaman won at Auto Club, correction. Elena Aurora, I'm trying to remember when she went to victory. Oh, it was before the All-Star race of last season. We're going to be inside of 10 laps of racing to go. I want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. In set, coming to 10 laps of racing to go. That means we'll have a single file restart should we get another caution between now and then. We have 4 drivers a lap down, 38 on the lead lap, all 42 drivers still running. Nobody out of the race, thankfully. And it is our third caution of the weekend. So we've had a caution in each race. We'll see about next week when we go to Loudon for all 3 series. So Venka looking for his second win on the season. Lucy Myers having a quiet run. Haven't talked much about Lucy. 26 in the points. She's right now the highest of the rookie drivers. As Venko Seaman has pulled away from Elena Aurora. Well, I'll take that back. Eric Alpha is now the highest of the rookies. So there's the rookie brigade. Ashlyn Wright's having a quiet run. She just got up here in the top 10. She was like in the 20s or 30s before the cycle of pit stops. Maddie Crenshaw, what a way to... Maddie Crenshaw started, I want to say, shotgun on the field. And she has clawed her way. She actually started 41st. She's up to 8th. What a great run for Maddie Crenshaw to stop the bleeding. As we're down to 3 laps to go in this race here at Texas. Two laps to go. Seaman, our winner from Auto Club, looking for his second win on the season. He's already going to be locked into the All-Star race. It would also be the second win with DEI because he's the only DEI car who's gone to victory lane this season. And remember, he was trying to run down Annie Thomas for the points lead. Annie Thomas running in 12th, so she's really going to stop the bleeding as the white flag is out, sponsored by Credit One Bank. 1 more lap to go. So Annie Thomas is going to do some damage limitations, but it's going to depend how many laps led for Venko Seaman. We could actually have a tie for the points lead going into next week. Well, that'd be a fun storyline. As off of turn number 4, Venko Seaman is going to win the Samsung Radio Shack 500 here at Texas Motor Speedway for his second Winston Cup Series win of the season. A career day for Venko Seaman. Standings are now official. And A Bluejay will get second. Good run for Eric Alpha in third. So 2 starts, 2 top 5s, and 2 top 10s. Good job for Eric Alpha. Lane Aurora in third. Eric will, by the way, be the highest of the rookie finishers. Lucy Myers will get fifth. Shyla Ashcroft, great run for her in sixth. Maddie Crenshaw, 41st on the grid, comes home in seventh. Great job to her. Samantha Grainger will get eighth. Ashlyn Wright will definitely continue to get away from 35th in the standings, finishing ninth. And Betty Barrett, who came into this race in that critical 35th in the standings, well-needed run for the Canadian driver in 10th. Annie Thomas will get 11th, so this is not going to hurt Annie Thomas in a bad way, shape, or form. So she really did some damage limitations, I can tell you that for sure. Quentin Moore, Brad Lewis, Jacob TwoTwo, Jessica Miller were your top 15. That caution really hurt several drivers in the process as far as this race was concerned. Look on down to the remainder of the finishing results. Senior Sean 22nd. Sydney Vortex got that damage on that on the pit stops. Will end up in 21st. Other than that, she had a quiet race nevertheless. Looking down here, Monica Towns, I bet you that damage really didn't affect her race car. As you look through the remainder of the finishing results, number of drivers running well in points. This is really going to hurt some people in the standings. We have all 42 drivers finish the race. All 42 made it to the conclusion. 38 on the lead lap. Bouvier, that damage after the pit road contact with Sydney Vortex put her off the pace and never recovered as far as that is concerned. Jerry Harvick, Tatum Wright, Annie Crenshaw, Drake Robertson all finished the lap down. Annie Crenshaw, was involved in our only caution of the event. So this is definitely going to kill her in the points table as far as that is concerned. Trying to look at some notables. Annie Crenshaw, 8th in the points, so 2 weeks in a row for Annie Crenshaw. Tatum Wright, not a run she was hoping for as far as that's concerned. So Texas has really played its part in a point shakeup. We're going to be having another point shakeup. I think either Venko Seaman's going to take the points lead or Annie Thomas is going to keep the points lead. Don't quote me on that. Wait till you see the points table down in the description heading into next week's race. But thank you all for joining me for today's race here at Texas. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your points table is down in the description heading into next week at Loudon, New Hampshire for all 3 series. Now for our studio engineer, Caleb Hobbs. I'm Dee DeVos. Thank you for joining me and saying good night from the Lone Star State. We congratulate Venko Seaman on his second win of the season. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. Talk to you next week from the Magic Mile. You've been watching the World Racing Association Greatest Racing since 2013 on the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.